Formula One turns to the United States now, where in the recent years has seen some thrilling racing action, especially on the line in 2016, where Carlos Sainz pipped Peter Harmson to 8th place. But the talk now is about Ferrari. Toto Wolff, after analysing his race win with Valtteri Bottas in Brazil, analysed that Ferrari's pace was very close to Mercedes and there is a very, very, very tight margin between themselves and the Scuderia. They say that, despite everything, they hope they can still have what it takes to win the Drivers' and Constructors' World Championship. Renault have announced that their big upgrades will be scheduled for Spain, and rather than bringing upgrades forwards, they say they are going to apply all their upgrade resources that they have so far to Spain, which should hopefully see them jump from being in the lower end of the midfield to the top end of the midfield to even McLaren, who are impressed with Ricciardo's performance, although Sainz still has a lot to learn. Sainz says he was getting used to the McLaren car, which he said was a very different car than the Red Bull that had won in the Drivers' World Championship back in 2016. Meanwhile, Force One said they were hoping to pick up points and said upgrades may be on the way, although ultimately depend on what resources they had been given from system team Mercedes. They said that their job was to support the parent series and hopefully give George Russell and Esteban Ocon their first points of the season here in the United States very soon later down the line. And at the back, Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso are hoping that new upgrades that were coming in Spain were to help improve performance after it was found that they were both the two slowest teams in Brazil. In the case of Alfa Romeo, it was confirmed that Raikkonen was getting used to the new conditions on track. And also in the case of Kvyat, he had been struggling in pre-practice compared to Wehrlein on the longer runs. This was said that Wehrlein had been in Formula One and Kvyat had to get used to the new aero regulations that were introduced back in 2017. But it is Valtteri Bottas who has a slender advantage in the World Championship as we head into what is the second race of the season here in the United States at Austin. And that is the roundup from practice. Let's see what is time for the great grid for today's United States Grand Prix. And on pole, it is Sebastian Vettel for Mercedes, pipping Charles Leclerc by less than about 700th of a tenth. Bottas lines up P3, hoping to get the jump on two guys in front, and Perez gets Williams' best result of the season so far in 4th. Two Red Bulls line up 5th and 6th, separated by 4,000th of a second. Van Dorn, happy with his performance, say this is where he needs to be, close to Verstappen. Rosberg improves as well to P7. Daniel Ricciardo qualifies in the top 10 again in P8. Hulkenberg lines up P9. Disappointed, Lewis Hamilton said he couldn't get the tyres to warm up properly for Ferrari. He starts in 10th. Carlos Sainz lines up 11th, not too far away from his teammate, says he's improving all the time. Gasly annoyed in 12th after his teammate got in the top 10 though. Harmson down in 13th and Russell is in 14th. Russell says that he needs to improve to get into the top 10 in order to chance of points. As does Kevin Magnussen and Ocon, both of them disappointed after potentially being closer to the front in the last race in Brazil. On the 9th row, it sees an all-Alfa Romeo with Giovinazzi once again heading a big margin ahead of Raikkonen. Raikkonen says he needs to concentrate on his form. And at the back, it's Wehrlein ahead of Kvyat for today's United States Grand Prix. So hello there everyone, welcome back to another video of Final Fantasy Formula 1 2019. We are here in the United States, a race that has been fraught with finishes. Remember back to 2016, those of you who've been around since Season 1, thanks for hanging around. I just want to say a quick mention, apologies for the slight delay to this video. I've been dealing with a few little bits of insurance issues which seem to won't go away. But nevertheless, let's not dwell on that. It's going to be a later upload. This is all I can get it. Hopefully I can get the F1 E-Mod and Final Fantasy both recorded from last weekend. So hopefully they can come out towards the weekend. Fingers crossed. Yes, down to the grid now.
It's a steep incline into turn 1 that'll help you scrub speed off. There are multiple lines, so be sure to make use of them.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. And we're here once again in our green-coloured Carlsberg DIVEBOMB team. It's going to be a 1 start today. That's a couple of seconds faster. Now, one thing that bugs me about this game, in Grand Prix mode, we need more fuel than in Korea. I don't get why that is, but anyway. That's another thought for another day. As 5 red lights get underway and we're going to instantly try and go to the left. Russell though is going to cut us off. Magnussen gets a storm start. He's up to 30th, but he's on the outside. Russell goes steaming in. He's side by side with Ricardo. Hamilton's lost out after being... Van Dorn's also had a bad start, and I think Hamilton's lost out to Gasly actually. But yes, that... trying to go to the left forced Russell to go to do a dive bomb, and that's well, we made contact in race 1, but no contact here. As you can clearly see, we did try to squeeze him, but he goes down the inside, tries to draw level with Ricardo. Ricardo is in a much better car than Brit, and Russell settles into what I believe is P8. He's on board with Sergio Perez. He's going to get the jump on Bottas at the start. A little bit nudging between Vettel and the clerk, the pole sitter, and Perez is up to P3. Here is Hamilton now. What's going to happen to him? So he's starting P10th. He's been swamped by Russell. Van Dorn is locking up, and he actually shoving out Hulkenberg. So is one Renault going to drop down the order as the other benefits? Yes, he's going to shove him wide. Off track does Hamilton does. They make contact. Oh, and then Gasly sweeps in front. And they go side by side, and Gasly now is in front of the 4-time world champion as we go down. Sorry, 3-time world champion as he's in this series. No, yes, sorry, 4-time. Yes, 4-time world champion. I forget how many times he's won it in this series because it's different now to real life. You go down the inside of George Russell. He tries to turn it off, as usually the AI do. But that is an easy overtake down the side. You're going to see a lot of that in this episode. But Russell, to be fair, comes back. The Mercedes engine isn't a sloth in the straight line. It's faster than the Renault engine that we got back. But we maintain position. Now behind us, on the same lap, Pierre Gasly has now got Lewis Hamilton coming. Obviously Renault are awaiting upgrades. Sashi is better than our engine. Hopefully we can get an engine upgrade from Renault. That would be great. It would really help us down the main straight. We've been really losing out, as you'll see in the next race in Canada. That really comes more effect there than it does here in the United States, especially with the first and third sector. Hamilton eventually disposes of Gasly, and now he's on the back of the Honda-powered Red Bull Stoffel Van Dorn. Van Dorn isn't really having a very good race with him. Moved to his pan from the rear wing, a view that nobody really likes, and he goes ahead of the Belgian driver and sets his sights firmly on George Russell now, his fellow Brit. Once upon a time they were both in Mercedes, and now is Pierre Gasly, who's out the race. Well, okay, Renault, that's not what we want to see, because we got the scene as Hamilton does what I did to Russell earlier, catching up to Ricardo now with DRS, but that's unfortunate for Gasly and Renault, because we need Renault to be solid for us so we can get the... I'm sure Ricardo will be equally worried by that with the engine there. We're going to lock up. Oh, just missed Ricardo there by a few inches. Now let's have a slow-mo replay here. he locks up the left rear, I think it is. We have to slightly go wide and then compromise our turn into the corner. Hamilton, interestingly, is locking up. Is he locking up as well? I'm not sure. So yes, we stay behind Ricardo for now. We're going to have Ricardo, unfortunately, on that 6 is starting to get away from us, and we've fallen out of DRS range and now into the clutches of Lewis Hamilton, who is in a Ferrari car. And let's be face it, he's not going to do. He's going to swoop past us now. We're going to have a look up the inside. No, we're not. We're going to stay behind him. We're not really racing Hamilton anyway. He's got a couple more stops, and an early stopper in today is actually Nico Rosberg. It's very early for the German. Potentially he could be doing a 3-stop, and he goes on to set up ultra stop, so he's definitely making another stop this afternoon. As Hamilton now sets his sights on Daniel Ricciardo, the man he replaced at Ferrari back in 2017, and Hamilton goes through and moves up a spot as our teammate hits. He's not had a very good race. He's doing another strategy which I don't understand what it is. He hit Ricciardo now again, so getting close to the Australians. So I'm not sure if there's a problem with that McLaren car, or whether it's just the fact that the Renault engine is so poor on our DRS, as Russell now comes back once again at us. Right, it's not a bad race for George Russell. I mean, potentially this could be a spot open at Mercedes in the future if he continues to perform in that like that, depending on how much Mercedes put into their thing, as Sebastian Vettel makes his stop, and interestingly comes out behind Lewis Hamilton, but he is on the soft tyres, and he is probably potentially going a long way in this race. He is ahead of us. Russell, is behind. We make contact now, and Russell goes through down the inside now. He has unfortunately got DRS. Clever by the Brits. We're going to try and stay with him, but Van Dorn in that Honda powered Red Bull has got more of him. We're going to try and stay with both Russell and Van Dorn lock up, and we have nowhere to go there. And we're going to have to stick to P6. We're going to see if we can jump right in front of Russell, or at least Van Dorn. Let's see if we can go down the inside here of the Belgium driver. There's a little bit of contact with Van Dorn again. So we're going to go around the thing, and no, Van Dorn's gone into us. Oh, unfortunate. We make contact with Van Dorn again. And now, moving to lap 11, we need to get back in front of Russell. He is on the same strategy as us, the one stop. We go down the inside, but overcook it during the braking zone, and the Brit goes past us. But can we now get him into the next zone? This is going to see what Renault versus Mercedes can do with the thing. Unfortunately, though, we have the Audi powered Williams car of Sergio Perez. He is in P. He's doing very well. He's just going to blitz past. So that's Audi versus Mercedes power there. We try to go for a bold move around the outside. It's not doing it. We've got Carlos Sainz behind us as well. As a Ferrari is in, I'm not sure which it's in. I'm not sure if it's. I think it might be Leclerc, because Vettel has made his. Sorry, I think it's right Hamilton, as Leclerc has made his first stop already. As we lock up, follow Nico Rosberg, who I believe has been in again. So he's already made his second stop, as we have hasn't made our first stop. So it's going to be very interesting to see where we come out. Unfortunately, the German is in the train. A little bit of opposite lock there, going through the pit lane. As Bottas goes through, I think Rosberg is coming in with us behind Russell. I can just about see. I think Sainz is coming in as well. Yes, I can just see the blue Williams Audi of Russell as we jump, as we stay ahead of Sainz there, and more crucially Russell. No unsafe release this time, and we go out in P12. Annoyingly, Ricciardo seems to have got an undercut on us. He pitted a couple laps before us, and he has annoyingly got an undercut on us. And if they have fixed those issues, then he would have gone through. Now, here comes Rosberg in that Audi Pat Williams car. There really is, as he locks up the rear left, Rosberg, nevertheless. He's got another stop.
That's us down a place.
He's got another stop to make at least. He's made 2 stops already. He's got to make a final 3rd stop, so he's on a 3-stop strategy this afternoon. Rosberg goes sailing off into the sunset. I'm setting intermediate tyres. There's a chance of rain to the back end of this race. There's only a chance. And then bear in mind, this is F1 forecasters, and of course, the chance is unlikely, as Van Dorn is now going side by side with us through this section. We're going to have the inside line going through into this corner, and we're going to force the Belgian out, bound to P11. And behind Van Dorn is Hulkenberg in the Renault. He is coming back now. He is on the super soft, so I believe he has made his final stop, doing a 2-stop. And Van Dorn lost out 2 positions in less than 2 laps as Hulkenberg draws up close to us. He has now lost out to Sainz, is definitely on his final stop. Move to lap 24 now. Here's Rosberg, who has made his final stop onto a set of super softs. He licks his past Hulkenberg there, so he is just right behind us now. We have moved up to P8 thanks to Rosberg, although Rosberg clearly has far too much pace and moves up into P8. Cannot get the place back, Jeff. He's got a space rocket out. As Hulkenberg now is starting to slow, we've cleared the gap of 2.2 seconds, and Carlos Sainz in the McLaren now is going the inside. Obviously, Hulkenberg, the one remaining Renault, unfortunately. It's unfortunate to see the Renault car where they are, but they say that they've got more pace after one thing. But that was actually our race. Sainz got in front of Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg actually slowed up Van Dorn, and I believe Giovinazzi also got close as well in the background. But we're going to come across the line. P9 again.
We'll see you in Park Ferme.
It's something to build on, I think. If we'll get upgrades on the car from Spain, and then we will improve. So yes, Leclerc wins the race from Vettel. Leclerc got the jump on the line. Hamilton does the brilliant race from him, doing the 1-stop to finish P3. Perez the 2 stoppers, P4. Ahead of Bottas, who disappointed with P5. Verstappen P6, best he could do. Ricciardo getting good points again. Rosberg, myself, and Sainz rounding out the top 10. Moving to the second page, Van Dorn, no points again for him. This time he didn't get forced out. This time he got forced out. Well, he got forced out again by me, but I think he lost out again. He was close to the points. Hulkenberg annoyed P12 again on the 2-stop. Giovinazzi proud with 13th. Ocon 14th. Magnussen 15th. We need to work on getting him on a 1-stop, not 2-stop. Verline finished ahead of Russell in the end, just to show how bad Russell dropped off in the end of Kvyat, Raikkonen, and of course Gasly, who failed to finish. So let's have a look at the standings. Leclerc has a 8-point lead, over Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes, who can only finish 5th. Vettel closes the gap on his teammate to just 2 points, with reigning world champion Lewis Hamilton is only P4, with Perez now closing the gap to him. Ricciardo is P6, Verstappen is close in 7th, Rosberg is 8th, myself in 9th, Hulkenberg and Sainz with a solitary point, Van Dorn is 12th. In terms of the constructors, it is extremely tight between Ferrari and Mercedes. Ferrari, I think, might have upgrades to come more than Mercedes, but still, this beginning fight is so close between Ferrari and Mercedes is unbelievable. 2 points separate Ferrari from Mercedes. That is very tight. There is no change amongst the other teams down the grid. So yes, that is going to round off this video for Final Fantasy Formula 1 2019, round number 2. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see more episodes of Final Fantasy, hopefully out for the weekend. Bearing in mind, depending on how F1 mod is next, round 4 for Mexico City. But yes, I'm going to leave it there. If you let me know what you thought in the comments below, and until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.